Have you ever walked into a room and felt a subtle, unspoken tension? A chilling discomfort from someone you thought was a friend, or at least an acquaintance? Perhaps you noticed a slight turning away, a fleeting flicker in their eyes that seemed to hold something cold, even as they offered a polite smile. It's a deeply unsettling feeling, isn't it, as we mature? As we gather the wisdom of decades, we crave genuine connection and peaceful interactions more than ever. Yet, sometimes, we encounter a perplexing undercurrent of animosity, a secret dislike that can silently chip away at our peace of mind and leave us wondering where we went wrong. It's not always overt conflict. Often, it's a quiet, insidious form of resentment that lurks beneath the surface, making us question our own perceptions. This hidden negativity, this secret dislike, can be incredibly painful, especially when you're simply trying to live your life with grace and kindness. It's a reality many of us face, but rarely discuss openly. The good news is, understanding it can be a powerful shield. In this video, we're going to delve into 7 subtle yet unmistakable signs that someone might secretly harbor ill will towards you, especially as we navigate the later chapters of life. We'll explore these signs through the insightful lens of Carl Jung, the brilliant psychologist who understood the complexities of the human mind and its hidden motivations better than most. His wisdom offers not just identification, but also a path to understanding and protecting your emotional well-being. So, stay with me, because by the end, you'll not only recognize these subtle signals, but also discover something truly profound that will help you navigate such situations with newfound strength and peace. So, watch to the end for something that will surprise you. Let's begin our exploration of these often invisible signs, starting with the subtle ways negativity can manifest. The first sign, a truly insidious one, is passive-aggressive behavior. Imagine you're sharing a story, something you're excited about, and a person you suspect might hold some secret animosity offers a compliment that feels more like a thinly veiled insult. Perhaps they say, "Oh, that's so brave of you to try that at your age," with a tone that suggests it's more foolish than courageous. Or they might forget to include you in a group message about a social gathering, only to later claim it was an honest oversight. These are not direct confrontations. They are subtle jabs, little pinpricks designed to undermine your confidence or make you feel sidelined without overtly stating their feelings. Carl Jung's insights here are incredibly powerful. He taught us a great deal about the shadow, the unconscious aspects of our personality, often negative, that we deny or repress within ourselves. When someone exhibits passive-aggressive behavior, it's often because they are unwilling or unable to confront their own feelings directly. They might envy something you have, your peace, your freedom, your energy, or your wisdom, and rather than acknowledging that feeling within themselves, they project it onto you. They dislike in you what they secretly struggle with or wish they had. They can't admit to their own discomfort, so they express it indirectly, hoping to diminish you in some small way to elevate themselves, even if only in their own minds. Recognizing this isn't about blaming them, but understanding the psychological roots of their behavior, which often have very little to do with you and everything to do with their own internal battles. When you encounter this, instead of rising to the bait, consider that their dig might be a window into their own unacknowledged frustrations, and respond with calm kindness or a simple, confident smile that doesn't engage their hidden agenda. This allows you to maintain your peace and not be drawn into their unresolved issues. Now, let's move to a second common indicator, a dismissive attitude. This manifests as someone consistently ignoring your contributions, cutting you off mid-sentence, or acting utterly uninterested when you speak, even if the conversation is directly related to you. You might notice them subtly rolling their eyes, checking their watch, or turning their body away from you while you're talking. They might even interrupt you to change the subject entirely, as if your words hold no value or relevance. It's a deliberate devaluing of your presence and your voice. This isn't just poor manners. It's a systematic way of making you feel invisible or insignificant. A quiet assertion of their perceived superiority, or, more often, their deep-seated resentment. This dismissive behavior is another prime example of what Jung might call a complex at play, an emotionally charged group of ideas or images in the unconscious. Someone who consistently dismisses you might be struggling with feelings of inadequacy themselves. Perhaps they feel unheard, undervalued, or overlooked in their own lives. And rather than addressing those feelings, they project them onto you by trying to make you feel that way. It's a way for them to regain a sense of control or importance. By diminishing yours, they might envy your confidence or the respect you naturally command. And so, they attempt to chip away at it. It's a sad reflection of their inner world, rather than a true reflection of your worth. When you encounter this, remember that your value is not determined by their attentiveness. Continue to speak your truth calmly, or choose to engage with those who genuinely wish to hear you. You don't need to fight for attention from someone who is intent on denying it. Your peace is too precious to waste on trying to win over someone who is determined to see you as less than. Finally, let's consider the third sign: gossip and triangulation. This is when someone talks about you behind your back, spreading rumors, misrepresenting your words, or trying to turn others against you. They might approach mutual friends with concerns about you, disguised as worry, but actually designed to plant seeds of doubt or suspicion. This behavior creates a triangle instead of addressing any issue directly with you. They involve a third party, twisting narratives and creating division. You might hear whispers, notice a change in how others interact with you, or discover that certain details about your life have been embellished or distorted and shared without your consent. From a Jungian perspective, this form of secret animosity often stems from a place of deep insecurity and a fear of direct confrontation. Engaging in gossip and triangulation allows the person to express their hostility indirectly, without risking a face-to-face conflict. They might be struggling with their own moral compass, their own integrity, or their own feelings of powerlessness. By attempting to damage your reputation, they might be trying to elevate their own standing within the social group, or simply to cope with their own envy or feelings of inadequacy. They can't stand to see you shine, so they try to dim your light by spreading negativity. It's a destructive behavior that speaks volumes about their own character, not yours. When you become aware of this, the best response is often to remain poised and to refuse to engage in the gossip cycle. Your integrity and your actions will speak far louder than any whispers. Sometimes, a direct, calm conversation with the person doing the gossiping, simply stating that you've heard what they've said and asking if there's an issue they'd like to discuss directly, can be surprisingly effective, but often, simply moving away from the source of the negativity and reinforcing your true connections is the most peaceful path. These first three signs, passive-aggressive behavior, a dismissive attitude, and gossip, are like subtle alarm bells, warning you that something deeper is at play. Now that we've explored these initial indicators, let's move on to other significant signs that can help you further understand these complex interactions. Moving on from those initial, often subtle, indicators, let's explore the fourth sign that someone might secretly dislike you: a marked lack of eye contact and negative body language. You might notice that when you speak to this person, their eyes dart away, or they seem unable to hold your gaze for more than a second. Their body might be subtly angled away from you. Even if you're in a group, they might cross their arms tightly across their chest, create physical barriers between you, or avoid sitting near you. These aren't just quirks. They are often unconscious signals of discomfort, avoidance, or even outright disdain when someone dislikes you. Their body often betrays their true feelings, even if their words are polite. It's a nonverbal communication that screams, "I'm not interested in connecting with you." Carl Jung often spoke of the collective unconscious and how deeply ingrained our primal responses are. Body language is one of the most ancient forms of communication, predating spoken language. A lack of eye contact or a closed-off posture can be an instinctive reaction to a person they perceive as a threat, a rival, or simply someone they wish to avoid. This isn't necessarily about you being a threat, but about their internal perception, which could be rooted in their own insecurities or unacknowledged competitive urges. They might be projecting their own discomfort or hidden feelings onto you, creating an unconscious aversion that manifests physically. For example, if they envy your confidence, they might avoid looking at you because your presence makes them feel more aware of their own self-doubt. When you notice this, It's not an invitation to force connection. Instead, it's a clear signal to respect their unspoken boundary, and perhaps even to create a little distance yourself, preserving your own emotional space. You don't need to unravel their internal conflicts. Simply acknowledging the signal allows you to protect your peace. The fifth sign is exclusion. This is a particularly hurtful one because it strikes at our fundamental human need for belonging. You might find yourself consistently left out of social gatherings, group chats, or informal plans that others are clearly part of. Perhaps you hear about an event after the fact, or you notice that when plans are being made, the conversation subtly shifts or becomes hushed in your presence. It's not a direct confrontation. It's a quiet, systematic freezing out, designed to make you feel isolated and unwanted. This isn't merely an oversight. It's a deliberate act of non-invitation, a passive form of rejection. From a Jungian perspective, exclusion often comes from a need for control or a desire to maintain a particular social hierarchy, especially within established groups. The person doing the excluding might feel threatened by your presence, perhaps seeing you as someone who challenges their standing or introduces an element they are uncomfortable with. They might be trying to solidify their own position by pushing you out, or they could be projecting their own feelings of being an outsider onto you. Sometimes, it's a manifestation of what Jung called the persona, the social mask we wear. If someone's persona is built on being the center of attention, or the group leader, they might see anyone who potentially draws attention away as a threat, and thus try to exclude them. It's a painful experience, but understanding that it often stems from their own insecurities rather than your inherent worth can help you detach from the sting. Instead of dwelling on what you are excluded from, focus your energy on the connections where you are genuinely welcomed and valued. Seek out people who truly appreciate your presence, because those relationships are the ones that nourish your soul. Now, let's explore the sixth sign: sudden, unexplained withdrawal or ghosting. This is when someone who was once friendly or at least cordial suddenly pulls back, becomes distant, or even stops responding to your calls or messages without any clear reason. There's no argument, no clear falling out, just an abrupt cessation of communication or warmth. It leaves you bewildered, replaying conversations, trying to figure out what you might have said or done. It's a silence that speaks volumes, designed to leave you in limbo, questioning yourself. This sudden withdrawal, in a Jungian sense, can be linked to the concept of the shadow once more. The person might be experiencing intense, unacknowledged feelings, perhaps anger, envy, or even fear that they are unwilling or unable to process or express directly. Rather than confronting these uncomfortable emotions or engaging in a difficult conversation, they simply disappear. They might feel overwhelmed by their own internal conflicts, and rather than dealing with the source of their discomfort, which might be their own projected feelings about you, they choose to remove themselves entirely. This kind of behavior reveals a deep discomfort with directness and emotional honesty. They're avoiding their own feelings, and you are simply caught in the crossfire of their internal struggle. When this happens, it's crucial not to internalize it. It's not about your inherent worth. It's about their inability to navigate complex emotions or relationships. So your dignity is best preserved by accepting their withdrawal without pursuing them relentlessly for answers they are unwilling or unable to give. Let them go, and understand that their silence is more about them than it is about you. These signs, lack of eye contact, exclusion, and sudden withdrawal, all point to an underlying discomfort or animosity that speaks volumes without a single word being uttered directly. Next, we'll dive into the final, often most direct, yet still subtle, sign of hidden dislike. Finally, let's talk about the seventh sign, which can often feel the most direct, even though it's still rooted in a subtle, persistent negativity, excessive criticism, or nitpicking. This is when someone consistently finds fault with everything you do, say, or even how you are. It's not constructive feedback, it's a steady stream of small, undermining remarks. They might comment on your clothes, your choices, your hobbies, or even your personality traits, always with a subtly negative spin. Are you sure that's the best way to do that? You always tend to. I don't know why you bother with that. It seems like a waste of time. These remarks chip away at your confidence, making you feel as though nothing you do is quite right, and that you are constantly under scrutiny. Carl Jung's concept of projection is critically important here. When someone engages in excessive criticism, they are often projecting their own unacknowledged flaws, insecurities, or fears onto you. They see in you aspects that they dislike or judge within themselves, and rather than confronting their own shadow parts, they externalize them by criticizing you. For instance, if they are deeply insecure about their own life choices, they might constantly nitpick yours. If they are afraid of aging, they might subtly criticize things related to your age. Their criticism is a mirror, reflecting their own internal struggles and self-judgment. They aim to diminish you, not because of who you are, but because your very existence, your very being, somehow highlights their own unresolved issues. This doesn't make their behavior acceptable, but it offers a profound understanding their negativity is not truly about you. It's about them. So, we've covered these 7 signs that someone might secretly harbor ill will towards you as you get older: the unsettling sting of passive-aggressive comments, the frustrating dismissiveness that makes you feel unheard, the insidious whispers of gossip and triangulation, the unspoken signals of averted eyes and closed-off body language, the painful sting of deliberate exclusion, the bewildering silence of sudden withdrawal, and the constant erosion of excessive criticism or nitpicking. These aren't just minor irritations, they are quiet assaults on your peace of mind and well-being. Now, for that powerful insight from Carl Jung that I promised you, the one that can truly change how you see these situations. Jung taught us that often, what we find most irritating, most infuriating, or even most hateful in others is a reflection of something unacknowledged within ourselves. This doesn't mean you are at fault for someone else's hatred. Instead, it means that the person who secretly hates you is likely wrestling with their own inner demons, their own insecurities, their own shadow side. Their secret animosity is not a judgment of your worth, but a painful display of their own unresolved issues, projected outward. Understanding this profound truth frees you. It frees you from the burden of taking their negativity personally. It allows you to see their behavior not as an attack on you, but as a cry for help from their own fractured inner world, even if they don't realize it. Remember, dear friends, small changes in your perspective can make a big difference to your peace and happiness. You have spent a lifetime gathering wisdom. Use it now to protect your inner sanctuary. You don't need to fight every battle, nor do you need to internalize every slight. Recognize these signs not as invitations for confrontation, but as signals to create healthy boundaries and to choose your company wisely. Your value is inherent, and your peace is paramount. If you've experienced any of these signs, or if this understanding has resonated with you, I would love to hear your thoughts. Please share your experiences or insights in the comments below. Your stories can help others feel less alone and more understood. And if this video has brought you some clarity or comfort, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We are committed to bringing you more content that empowers you to live your best life at every age, with wisdom, grace, and joy. Embrace your golden years with confidence and serenity, knowing that your inner peace is your greatest treasure. Live your best life at every age.